Shalom Israel, YAHANNA, I.S.U.P.K Headquarters, Sabbath service. Shafar. Which means horn. Yayan. La Yasharala, which means to Israel. Shafar one more again. Right, men and women of Israel. Let's say Imagine. Saw upon your Hakadam, which means turn and face the east. You're gonna repeat the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakovka, Taba'a, Watazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim, Nathanawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalakmanawa, Kawawaf Noah, Kasalaknawa, Kawawaf Yanawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Nawa, Balasai one, Abba, Awashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Wa Ha'ala, Wa Ha Tapa'araf, La Iwalamyam, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debt as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Baba Kashab, the thunder nawa. Hakak, Hakak, Larapa'ah, Ka Maka'ala, Wakamaruwa, Hakak, Lafa'ah, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, Lahakoyam, Hamathnyam, Hakak, Al Raka'awaf, Hatama Allah, Nagarashun, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Tawada Aman, in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. Psalm 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Haharya, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah Ma'an, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'arataza, Al Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hanala'a, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shalamar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makarai, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaafka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'aitha, I will learn. In the English, I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalm 83 in the Hebrew. Al-Hayyim, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Takorash, Wa Al-Tashakwat, Al-Kayahanna, our Yabyaka, Yahama Yawan, Wamashanaka, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Al Imaka, Yairiyamwa, Sawad, Waya, Kaya Aitazawa, Altazapawanyaka, Amawa, Nakawa, Wanakakinam, Magaya, Wala'a, Yazaka, Yazaka, Sham Yasharala, Iwa, Kaya, Nawa Lab, Yaka'ad, Yaka'adwa, Alika, Baryaf, Yakawafwa, A'aya, Adawam, Wayashamaya, Ilayam, Mawa'aba, Wahagayam, Gabar, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak, Palashaf, Am Yashabia, Tazawar, Gum Ashawar, Nalawa, Aman, Hayat, Salakia, Hayawa, Zawawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aisha Laham, Kamadian, Kasaya Sara'a, Hayabian, Barakal, Wayashwan, Na Shamadwa, Ba'ayan, Ba'ayan Da'ara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayabmawa, Ka'aira, Wakaza Abba, Wakaza Bak, Wakata Zamana, Ha Nasayatamwa, Ashar, Amawa, Nayarasha, Lanawa, Af, Na'awaf, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Ka'ash, Taba'ira Ya'ira, Wakala Abba, Talahat, Haryam, Khan, Taradatma, Basairaka, Waba Sawpafka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayaba'awa, Ide, Wayakapawa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Arthur, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Ayawan, Al-Kal Harakaza. Keep not in the English, keep not thy silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thy enemies make it tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against our people, and consulted against our hated ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assault also is joined with them. They are helping the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zahab, yea, all their princes as Sabbath and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded in trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that man may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Blessing in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, wa Yahusha, wa Mayaka Allah, wa Alahayim, Matazabia, Alawab Yahanna, ha Alawapyam, ha Saranyam, ha Kwatazayanyam, ha Ka'ayanyam, wa ha Akwafyam, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahusha, Tuwala Aman. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahusha, and Michael, and the angels, commending General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahusha, thank you. So be it. curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction and death to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction and death to the heathen, and shake loose the pockets of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction and death to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Basi Kamatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spy, weapons of witchcraft, Nassau space programs, Army, Navy, the Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of our people that seek to stop us and bring swift death to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go through and fro to the earth and destroy them. Cause the plagues to come against the enemy and destroy them in their strongholds. And America shake out the hands of the plagues, that Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and plague all the heathens that come up against us as we speak that word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread to the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always, so be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakat Salaki. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Barak Lanawa. Wa Yasharala. Wa Abba Yaf Sapariam, Barak, Rapa'ah Magun. Right. Saw, which means to turn. Yashabia, which means be seated. We're going to continue from where we left off at last week. Last week we left off at 1 Chronicles, chapter 15 and 24. Okay, one second, Israel, and we're going to begin. Most High Christ. We're going to begin in the Hebrew, as we do every Sabbath, and then we're going to translate what we read from the Hebrew into the English. Today we're going to begin from 1 Chronicles chapter 15, verse 24. The book of 1 Chronicles chapter 15, verse 24 in the Hebrew. Washa Banaya Hawa Waya Washa Pa Wana Tana Ala Wa'ai Mashaya Waza Kara Ya Waza Kara Yaha Wabana Yawa Wa Alaya Izar. That's Eleazar. Haka Ha Nayam Maka Tazaryam Makat Tazar Yum. Bakat Tazar Wath. Lapanya. Salakia. Ara Wa. Arawan. Ha Alahayim. Wa'ai Bad. Adam. Waya Kaya. Sha'ai Rayam. La'a Rawan. Verse 25. Waya Haya. Dawayad. Dawayad or Dawada. That is David's name in the Hebrew. Wazakwa Naya. Yasharala. Washarya. Ha Alapayam. Ha Lakayam. Laha I Lawat. Af. Aray. Arawan. Bara Yath. Ya'awa. Man. Bayath. Ibad. Adam. Bashama Ka. Verse 26. Waya Aya. Ba'izar. Ha Alahayam. Af. Allah Wayam. Nasha'aya. Ara one. Barayath. Yahweh. Wayaza Bakawa. Shabaiha. Parayam. Washa Ba'ai. Ayalayam. Verse 27. Wa'dawayad. Maka Rabah. Kama'ai Yala. Barataza. Wakal, Hala Wayam. Hana Sha'ayam. Arth. Ha'ara one. Wa Hamasha Rayam. Waka Nanaya. Asha. Ama Sha'a. Hamasha Rarayam. Wa'ai. Dawayad. Apa Wad. Bad. Verse 28. Waka. Yasharala. Ma'ailayam. Off. Ara one. Barayath. Yahweh. Ba Ra Wa'aya. Yabakwa Wa'a. Shower Pa. Waba Ka Taza Tazara Wath, Wabama Tazala Tayam, Mashama Ayam, Bana Kalayam, Wakana Rawath, verse 29. Wayahaya Ara 1. Karayath Yahweh Ka'a Aid Ayah Dawayad Wa Ma Yakar Bath Sha'awar Nasha Kwa Pa'a Ka'ai Haka Lawan Watha Wa Tara'a Ath Hamalak Dawayad Mawakwad Wama Shak Wamasha Ka Watha Bat Watabaza Lawa Kalaka, verse chapter 16, verse 1. We studied at 24. Salaki Israel. Believe that's Officer Shaw. Salaki Israel. That was Officer Sha'ah. Give him a hand. Son of Christ. We gonna continue. We're in chapter 16. I believe we gotta stop at verse 2. Double check that for me, all right, Officer Sha'ah. I started at First Chronicles chapter 15, verse 24. Just give me a countdown moving forward, all right? Torah. Chapter 16, verse 1. We're still in First Chronicles 16 and 1 in the Hebrew. Waya Baya Az Ar1 Ha Alahayam Waya Tazaya Gawa Afwa Kata 1 Ha Ahal Ashar Nata'ah Lawa Wayad Waya Kwara Yabawa Al Wath Wa Shalamayam Lapania, Ha Alahayam, verse 2. I believe this is the last verse. Wayakal, Da Wayad, Ma Ha'ai Lawath, Ha'ai La, Waha Shalam Mayam, Wa Waya Wayaba Ra Af Ha'ain Kasham Yahweh. Verse. Now we're starting from verse 24 in the English. First Chronicles chapter 15, verse 24. And Shabaniah and Jehoshaphat and Nathaniel and Amasai and Zechariah and Benaiah and Eleazar the priest did blow with the trumpets before the ark of the power. And Obededom and Jehiah were doorkeepers for the ark. So last week, I know Officer Hazahab and Officer Shalaya and Officer Ibadja, they were expounding on this about the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant was very, and still is very instrumental, because that is the evidence. That was the evidence of the destruction that the Most High brought to our enemies, and it was not a small thing. It was not a small thing. I remember in the scriptures, you couldn't touch the Ark of the Covenant. Like not anybody could come around the Ark of the Covenant, and that's why we looking in the scriptures. We see there were people that were there to guard the Ark of the Covenant, because that's where you find Moses' staff in there. You find the Urim and the Thummim in there. It wasn't no small thing. And today, the enemies, they always come around and you hear some rumor about they find the Ark of the Covenant. Now the UPK under Commanding General YAHANNA, under our King Yahushua Mashiach, we will get that back. When we get back, as we are doing right now, to return into the old path, return to the Most High. Verse 25. So David and the elders of Israel and the captains over thousands went to bring up the Ark of the Covenant of the Most High out of the house of Obededom with joy. 26. And it came to pass, when God helped the Levites that bear the Ark of the Covenant of the Most High, that they offered 7 bullocks and 7 rams. Verse 27. And David was clothed with a robe of fine linen, and all the Levites that bear the ark, and the singers, and Kenaniah, the master of the song, with the singers, David also had upon him an ephod of linen. So when you hear singers in the Bible, it's not talking about your Christian pastor, because as we are reading, it is about the Ark of the Covenant, and the Ark of the Covenant did not come about with singing and dancing, like your Christian pastor does. The Ark of the Covenant came about through warfare. So when you're hearing about, singers, it's not talking about your Christian pastor. It's not talking about that sweet Jesus music, that gospel music, that evil music. No, it's talking about war music. It's talking about Babylon is fallen to rise no more. That's what it's talking about. It's talking about the Lord is a man of war. That's the type of music we're talking about. All right, so don't ever get it twisted, because pastors, preachers, they love to go to the Bible to refer to the singers in the Bible as to the reason why they seduce the people with the music that they seduce the people with, which is pure evil, which is pure manipulation. Verse 26, and it came to pass, when God helped the Levites that bear the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord, that they offered, we read that, verse 27, David was clothed with a robe of fine linen, and all the Levites that bear the ark and the singers and the Canaaniah, the master of the song with the singers, David also had upon him an ephod of linen. Verse 28. Thus all Israel brought up the ark of the covenant of the Most High with shouting and with sound of the cornet and with trumpets and with cymbals, making a noise with psalteries and harps. Verse 29. Right? They were shouting. They were not. When you go to the Christian pastor today, right? You go to the Christian church. The music that they play in the Christian church is there to hypnotize you. That's what the music does. Music really curses you. But when we're talking about the music, the singers, that is waking you up. That is reminding you that you are under oppression. That is reminding you that you are supposed to be ruling over these other races of people that are ruling over us. This is why the I.S.U.P.K, we do the music that we do. When you listen to, Captain Katazan's music, or when you listen to 144 the Rebel, Captain Akkad music, this is the music, the kind of music that we are to be making. Music that will wake up our people, that will shout, all right, as opposed to hypnotizing our people. Verse 29. And it came to pass, as the ark of the covenant of the Lord came to the city of David, that Michal, the daughter of Saul, looking out at a window, saw King David dancing, playing, and she despised him in her heart. That's the woman jealousy. That's all. That's woman jealousy. He's looking at him dancing like, all right, look at him. Probably saw that all the sisters are looking at him. All the sisters are checking him out. Right? So she despised him in her heart. That means in her mind. Chapter 16, verse 1.
Last verse.
Verse 1 is the last verse?
Gotcha.
So they brought the ark of God and set it in the midst of the tent that David had pitched for it. And they offered burnt sacrifices and peace offering before God. All right, so we pick it up at 16 and 2. We were supposed to stop at 1. We read 2. So we're going to read verse 3 in the Hebrew. First Chronicles chapter 16, verse 3.
Verse 2.
Oh, cut. I read verse 2 in the Hebrew. I thought verse 2 was the last verse, so I'm going to just pick up at 3. YAHANNA Kalak Lakal Ayash Yasharala Ma'ayash Wa'aid Asha'ah La'ayash Kakal Lakam Wa-Ashapar Wa-Ashaya Sha'ah. Verse 4. Wayathan Lapanya Arawan Yahweh Man Hala Wayam Mashal Thayam Walaha Zakaya Walaha Wa Dawath Walahala Lala Laya Layaha Yaha Laya Ha Wa Alahaya Yasharala. Verse 5. Asa Ha Ra'ash Wama Shanawa Zakar Yaha Ya'ain Ya'ala Wa Shamaya Mawaf, Waya Kaya Allah, Wa Matha, Wa Matha Thaya, Wa Alaya Ak, Wabanya Hawa, Wa I Ka Adam, Wa Ya I Ya Allah, Kakalia, Naka Layam, Waba Bun Rawaf, Wa Asap, Bama Taza, Bama Tazala Thayam, Masha Mayai, verse 6. Waba Nayawa, Wayaka Za Ya'ala, Haka, Hakaha Nayam, Baka Tazar Gawaf, Tamayam, Lapanya, Alawan, Barayaf, Alahayam, verse 7. Baya Wam, Hahawa, Azar, Nathan, Da Wayad, Baraash, Baraash, Lahada Waf, Laya Hawa, Bayad, Asap, Wa Kayawa, verse 8.
That's verse.
Thought. Wa, Ha Wadawa, Ha Wadawa, Laya Hawa, Kwara Awa, Basha Mawa, Hawada Ya'aiwa, Ba'ai Mayam, Al Yala Sayam. That was the last verse, picking up First Chronicles, chapter 1, chapter 16, verse 2. We read verse 2. We're going to read from verse 3. And he dealt to every one of Israel, both men and women, to everyone a loaf of bread and a good piece of flesh and a flagon of wine. A flagon, a flagon of wine is like modern day of understanding that it's like rum raisin cake. You know, it's like a fragment of rum. So that was a flagon of wine. A rum raisin cake will be a flagon of rum. So that's like a cake, you know, that is infused, you could say, with wine. A flagon of wine. Verse 4, and he appointed certain of the Levites to minister before the ark of the Most High, and to record and to thank and praise the Most High God of Israel. So this Ark of the Covenant was, you know, it's instrumental in our nation, you know, because, you know, David appointed Levites to record it. This is why we have these records, because we had people that was there. Like today, you have your cameraman, you have the journalist, but back then, we had the scribes. You know, we had the scribes that were there. They put things down. You know, they wrote things down, and Barakatah Yahweh Yahushua, we have this record today that we could get back to our nationality and get back to our customs, get back to our way of life, you know, because our record was kept alive through the power of the Most High. And here we see that David, he appointed people to make sure that, you know, certain things went on the record, right? And to record and to thank and praise the Most High God of Israel. Verse 5, Asaph, the chief, and next to him, Zechariah, Jael, and Shemi Ramath, and Jael, and Mattithiah, that would be Matthew. Mattithiah, the Greek translate that same name in the New Testament as Matthew, and Eliab, and Benaiah, and Obededom, and Jael with psalteries and with harps. But Asaph made a sound with cymbals. Verse 6, Benaiah also and Jahaziel, the priest, with trumpets continually before the ark of the covenant of God. Verse 7, then on that day David delivered first this psalm to thank the Most High into the hand of Asaph and his brethren. Verse 8, give thanks unto the Most High and call upon his name, make known his deeds among the people. All right, inside Christ. It's our third step. We're gonna pick up at verse 3. Baba Kasha. Let me get some water, Baba Kasha. First Chronicles chapter 16. Salakia. Verse 9. What I just read. Verse 9. First Chronicles 16 and 9. Shaya Rawah. Shayawa Lawa. Zamara Wa Lawa. Shayakawa. Bakar, Napa La'af Yawa, verse 10. Hatha'a Lalawa, Basham, Quadashwa, Washa Ma, Laba, Maka Quashaya, Yahweh, verse 11. Dara Shawa, Yahweh, Wa'aizawa, Bakwashwa, Panyawa, Tamayad, verse 12. Zakawa, Nepal, Afyawa, Ashar, Aisha, Mapathyawa, Wamashapathya, Payahawa, verse 13. Zawai, Yasharala, Ikadwa, Banaya, Salaka, Kwa, Kaka, Salaka. What was that last verse, Sean?
Well,
16. Say that again?
what was you on 14? I know the last verse is 15.
No, I studied where? I studied on 9, right?
Right.
16 and 9. Okay.
We could pick up that one now, verse 14.
14, right?
Because we start verse 14 again.
First Chronicles 16 and 14. Hawa Yahweh, Alaha Ya Naya, Bakal, Ha Arataza, Mashapa Thayawa, verse 15. Zakawa, La'aid Walam, Bara Yahwa, Da Dabar, Tazawa, La'ala, Dawar, verse 16.
That was the last verse of verse 16.
15 or 16?
It's 15, sir.
15? Picking it up from the English, starting at verse 9, First Chronicles 16 and 9. Sing unto him, sing psalms unto him. Talk ye of all his wondrous works. Verse 10. Glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Most High. Verse 11. Seek the Most High in his strength. Seek his face continually. All right. So this is what your Christian pastor will use to sing songs to you all damn day long. All day long, they'll just use that to sing songs to you. You say, see, it says sing to him. Glory in his name. You know, that's why we sing every day, brother. That's why we sing for 2-3 hours, brother. Because the Bible says to seek, to sing to the Lord, to seek the Lord in his strength, you know, to seek his face continually. But what they don't tell you is that seeking the Lord's face is working the work, you know, working the walk. That's what seeking the Lord's face is. You don't seek the Lord's face by just singing all damn day. You have to walk in his statutes and commandments. You have to walk it. You know what I'm saying? You have to live that life that the Most High can say, okay, this is my son right here. This is my servant. You know, this is how the Most High's, you know, face shine upon us. When you hear us sing the prayers and we anoint each other's head, you know, that the Most High may shine upon us is because we are walking, we are living. This is why we are here in the I.S.U.P.K. during the Sabbath service. We go out, you know, in the street, we teach our people. You know, we go to Mexico, you know, in Haiti, wherever we go to do the work, to do the will of the Most High. This is how you seek the Most High's face. Not by just standing in a church and just singing, you know, all damn day. Because they take everything so literal and out of context in the church. Verse 12, remember his marvelous works that he hath done, his wonders and the judgment of his mouth. Verse 13, O ye seed of Israel, his servant. So you must be the Most High servant. You can't just be an entertainer. You know, you don't seek the Most High by being an entertainer. You seek his face by being a servant. That means what? You do what the hell he tells you to do. That's what a servant does. A servant, you take the order and you serve your people, you minister to your people because the Most High commanded you to. You love your people because the Most High commanded you to. And you don't love the other nation because the Most High tells us not to love them or seek their ways. All right, verse 14. He is the Most High, our power. His judgments are in all the earth. Verse 15. Be ye mindful always of his covenant. So right here is reaffirming what I was just saying. We got to be mindful of the covenant. Why? Because with the covenant of the Most High gave us his words. Most High gave us a promise that we will rule the planet Earth if we do what? If we follow his statutes, laws, and commandments. So everything we was reading before, talking about, sing for the Most High, seek his strength, seek his face, you do that by doing what? You remember that covenant. You remember you have a contract with the Most High. You remember who your power is. You remember who your master is. And you do the will of your master. All right? We're going to keep on reading. Be mindful always of his covenant, the word which he commended. Reaffirming what we were just saying. Commended. The Most High commended these words. And as a servant, you do what you are commended to do. To 1,000 generations. He commended that to 1,000 generations. And don't think that literally also, because the Christian church probably gonna count from Abraham and say, okay, you know what, we passed 1,000 generations. We had 1,003 generation now.
Right.
That means we can't forget about the covenant. We can't forget about the commandments because right now we are 1,007 generation, brother. It says 1,000 generation. We are 1,007 generations now, brother. All right, we got to be mindful of the Most High's commandment because what he's saying here to 1,000 generation, that means forever.
Right.
That's what it means. Forever. We must remember the covenant. All right. We're in 1 Chronicles chapter 16. Now we're gonna continue 16 and 16. All right. 1 Chronicles 16 and 16 in the Hebrew. Ashar, Kawath, Af, Habarayim, Washab, Wa'ai, Kawa, Layataza, Ka, Layatazaka, verse 17. Wayai Mayada, Wayai Mayad Ha, Laya I Kwa, Laka, La Yasharala, Kara Yaf, Aid Walam, verse 18. La Amar, La Athan, Arataza, Kanai, verse 19, 1 Chronicles 16 and 19. Kaha Yawa Thakam, Makaya, Masapar, Kamaitha, Wagar Yum, Kaha, verse 20. Waya Kawa, Magoya, Gawaya, Wa Mama Mala Kaha, Ain, Hakar, 21, Hanayaka, Ayash, Shaquam, Wa Ka, Al Yaham, Malakayam, 22,
Last verse.
Tawada, Kaga Iwa, Kamash Yakawa, Waka Nakaya Aya, Tara Iwa. Two, last verse. Picking up in the Hebrew, First Chronicles chapter 16, verse 16. Even of the covenant which he made with Abraham, and of his oath unto Isaac, and have confirmed the same to Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. All right. The Old Testament, a lot of times, Christian pastors want to go back to the Old Testament to show that, to show nothing really, but trying to prove that the Old Testament even prophesied, like the Christian pastor, Captain Tazoyak, was debating, trying to show that even the Old Testament prophesied that the covenant will be open to the other races of people. Well, we don't see that in the Bible. What we see clearly in the Bible is that this covenant, right, is sealed with Israel from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. All right. Verse 18, saying, unto thee will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance. Verse 19, when you were but few, even a few, and strangers in it. Verse 20, and when they went from nation to nation and from one kingdom to another people. Verse 21, he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes. Right? Talking about the children of Israel. The Most High will reprove kings for us. That means the Most High will destroy kings for us, man. The Most High will destroy America for us.
That's right.
The Most High will destroy China for us.
Right.
The Most High will destroy Syria. He will destroy the Arab world for us. But we must do something. We must remember his covenant. We must walk in the commandments. We must seek his face. And this is what we are doing here in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA.
That's right.
Because we want the Most High to destroy our enemies, man. Because as we reading the Ark of the Covenant, that is the quintessential representation of the Most High destroying our enemies. That's how the Ark of the Covenant came about, through warfare. So this is what we want, man, because we are in hell. Our people are in hell. And this is why in the I.S.U.P.K, we take this job serious, man. This job is serious. This is our job. And that's why we call what we do in the world, what everybody call a job, a 9 to 5, we call that our slavery. Because our job really is this. This is our job. To get back to the Ark of the Covenant. To remember the covenant of the Most High. Because that's how the Most High is going to destroy this kingdom that we think are so mighty and powerful. Which they are not, because the Most High could destroy them with a virus. With a simple virus, the Most High could destroy them. All right, we're going to keep on reading. He suffered no man to do them wrong. He reproved kings for their sakes. 22, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm.
That's right.
All right, and this is why, we got to come back, man, to the protection of the Most High, and we do that by remembering the covenant. We do that by keeping the law, statutes, and the covenant and the commandments. We're gonna keep on pushing with the Hebrew. We starting at verse 23. First Chronicles 16 and 23. Shaya Lawa Layaha Wa Ka Ha Arataza Ka Sharwa Mayawam Yawam Yasha Wa'ai Thawa 24 Sapawa Kaga Rayam Off Kabawa Dawa Kakal Ha Ai Mayam Napala Salakia Napa La'af Yawa 25 Kaya Ga the wall Yahweh Wa Ma Allah Ma'ad Wa Nawa Ra'a Hawa'a Hawa'a I Ka Alahayim 26 Kaya Ka Alahaya Ha I Mayam Yala Yam Waya Hawa'a Shamayam Aisha 27 Hawad Wa Hadawa Laga Lapanyawa Aiza Wakadwa Bama Kwamawa 28 Hakawa Laya Hawa Masha Pakawa Masha Pakawath Anyam Akawa Laya Hawa Kakawad Wa'aiza 29
Next verse.
Tawada Hakawa Laya Hawa Kakawad Shamawa Sha'awa Manaka Wa Ba'awa Lapanyawa Ashaf Kawawa La Yahweh. So I get Ba Hada Rath Quadash. All right, that was verse 29. Picking it up from the Hebrew. First Chronicles chapter 16, verse 23. Sing unto the Most High, all the earth. show forth day to day his salvation. Right? And how you do that? How you show the Most High salvation? How you show the Most High salvation? By singing. You show the Most High salvation with your work. Even when he's singing, when he's saying singing, this is really, you can't take everything, in the Bible literal, thinking, because that's what Christians do. Christian will sin all day. They sinning, but on that Sunday morning they go and they sing Hallelujah, Jesus, and they think that by doing that they showing the Most High salvation. Like, I am a sinner all week. I know God knows my work. God knows my heart though, because on Sunday morning I go and I sing for 5 hours straight. I sing because I'm showing the Most High salvation. No, that's not how you show the Most High salvation. All right? We're going to keep reading, and it's going to say that. Verse 24, declare his glory among the heathen, his marvelous works among all nations. Verse 25, for great is the Most High, and greatly to be praised. He also is to be feared above all gods. Verse 26, for all the gods of the people are idols, but the Most High made the heavens. Glory and honor are in his presence. Strength and boldness are in his place. Verse 28, give unto the Most High, ye kindreds of the people, give unto the Most High glory and strength. That was the last verse, right? 28? 29 is the last verse. Verse 29, give unto the Most High the glory due unto his name. That is a debt. That's a debt that you have. You have a debt to give to the Most High the glory that is due to his name. And how you do that? By fearing the Most High. Not by singing to him. No, the Most High gives you commandments. He wants the glory. And how he gets the glory is by you being obedient, by us being obedient. We must be obedient to the Most High. That's how we give the Most High glory. That's how we reaffirm our faith. Like, we believe in this. So because we believe in it, what do? We do it. You don't say you believe in the Most High God. Meanwhile, you're serving these other idols. And he said he should be feared above all these idols. Because these idols mean really vain. When you look at the root word, it means nothing. Meanwhile, the Most High God created the heavens. All right. Let's keep going. Let's seal it with verse 30. No, it's like verse 29. Give unto the Most High the glory due unto his name. Bring an offering and come before him. Worship the Most High in the beauty of holiness. In the beauty of holiness, that means separateness. That's how you serve the Most High. Separateness. So when you see holiness, it's not talking about the holiness in your Christian church. You gotta look in the Hebrew, what does holy means? It means to be separate. In the beauty of holiness, that means it's a beautiful thing, man, to be separate. It's a beautiful thing not to be like these other nations. It's a beautiful thing not to celebrate Christmas when everybody celebrates Christmas. It's a beautiful thing to celebrate the Passover when everybody is going to be celebrating Easter. It's a beautiful thing, man, to serve the Most High and be separate. All right? We're picking up from verse 30 in the Hebrew. First Chronicles chapter 16, verse 30. Kaya lawa, mala pan yawa, ka, ha arataza, a, ka ra one, ka one, ka ka,
Tamawath, 31. Ya Shama Shamakawa, Asha Mayam, Wa Kagal, Ha Arataza, Waya Amawa, Ba Baga Wayam, Yahweh, Malak, 32. Yara'ain, Hayam, Wa Malawa Awa, Ya'ai, Ya'ai, Salakia, Ya'ai Lataza, Ashadwa, Waka, Ashar, Bawa, 33. Ataza, Ya Ra Nanawa, I Tazaya, Ha Ya'ir, Malapania, Yahweh, Kaya, Ka'a, Lashapa, Lashapawat, Af, Ha'a, Ha Arataza, 34. Hawa Dawa, Laya Hawa, Kaya, Tawak, Kaya, La'ai Walam, Kasadawa, 25. Wa Amara, Hawa Shaya Ainawa, Alahaya, Yasha Ainawa, Wakwa Kataz, Wakwa Tazanawa, Wa'at Tazaya, Lanawa, Man, Hagar Rayam, Lahada Waf, Lasham, Quadashwa, Quadashah, Laha, Laashaf, Kaka, Alaka, 36. Karawan, Yahweh, Alahaya, Yasharala, Man, Ha'ai Walam, Wa'ai, Ha'ai Lawam, Waya Amara, Ka, Ha'ain, Aman, Wa Alallah, La Yahweh. Right, picking up from verse 30 in the English. First Chronicles chapter 16, verse 30. Fear before him all the earth. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved. 31. Let the heavens be glad, and let the earth rejoice, and let men say among the nations, The Most High reigneth. 32. Let the sea roar and the fullness thereof. Let the fields rejoice in all that is therein. 33. Then shall the trees of the wood sing out at the presence of the Lord, because he cometh to judge the earth. That part the Christian church is not going to take literal. You know, they're not going to take that literal. You know, when they talking all that singing, you should put out that verse. Since they want to make it so literal, you should say, well, Pastor, why you not singing with the wood? You know, because you telling me that this is the reason why you singing, and you're not really explaining to me, you know, the spiritual behind what is being said. Well, in this verse right here, it says, then shall the trees of the wood sing out. So why don't you sing with the trees of the wood? You know, they're not going to take that part little. Let's keep on reading. Then shall the trees of the wood sing out at the presence of the Most High, because he cometh to judge the earth. 34. Oh, give thanks unto the Most High, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. 35. And say ye, save us, O power of our salvation, and gather us together, and deliver us from the heathen, that we may give thanks to the holy name and glory in thy praise. 36. Blessed be the Most High, power of Israel forever and ever. And all the people said, Amen, and praise the Most High. That was it, right?
Come on.
Verse 37, picking it up from the Hebrew.
Last second.
Go on. So I got 37, right?
Come on, 37.
First Chronicles chapter 16, verse 37 in the Hebrew. I.S.U.P.K, SHALAM, Lapanya, Ara one, Kara Yak, Yahweh, La'asa, Wala'a Kayan, Wala'a Kayawa, Lasharaf, Lapanya, Ha-Ara-Ran, Kamayad, Ladakar, Yawam, Kaya, Wamawa, 38, Wa'ikad, Adam, Kayaham, Shashayam, Shema Wanaha, Wa'ikad, Adam, Khan, Yadaya Thawan, Waka Sa'ah, Lasha'ai Rayam, 39, Wa'af, Tazada Wa, Hakahan, Wa'a Kayawa, Hanayam, Lapanya, Mashakan, Yahweh, Kakama'a, Ashar, Ka'ai 140, Laha'ai Lawaf, Alawaf, La Yahweh, Matazab, Kaka, ha'ai laha, thama yad, lakakwara, ala'ai raka, alaka, ha kathawa, katha sorry, katha wa rath, Yahweh, Ashar, Tazawa, Al, Yasharala, 41, Wa'ai Mawam, Hayaman, Hayaman, Wayada Watha 1, Washa'ar, Haka Rawa Rayam, Ashar, Nakwakawa, Kasha Mawa, Lahada Wak, La Yahweh, Kaya, La Ilam, Kasadwa, 42, Wa'ai Maham, Hayaman, Wayada Wa Kawan, Ka Tazar Wa, Hama Tazal Thayam, Lamasha Mayayam, Wa Kalaya, Shaya, Ha Alahayam, Wakanya, Ya Dawa, Wa Daya Kawan, La Sha'ira, 43, Wayala Ka, on which verse?
43 is the last verse.
43?
No.
Wayala Ka, Ha'ain, Ayash, Laka Yafwa, Wayasab, Dawayad, Labaran, Af, Baya Kawa. 43, chapter 16, picking it up from the Hebrew. First Chronicles, chapter 16, verse 37. So he left there before the ark of the covenant of the Most High, I.S.U.P. and his brethren, to minister before the ark continually, as every day's work required. What does every day's work require? To minister, which means to serve, which means to be a servant. And a servant does what? A servant obeys his master. All right, always keep that in mind. Verse 38, and Obededom with their brethren 68. Obededom also the son of Jehuthun and Hosah to be porters. 29, and Zadok the priest and his brethren the priests before the tabernacle of the Most High in the high place that was at Gibeon. Verse 40, to offer burnt offerings unto the Most High upon the altar of the burnt offering continually, morning and evening. and to do according to all that is written in the law of the Most High, which he commanded Israel. And to do what? To do all that is commanded. You must do what is commanded, not sing about it, not catch an orgasm at church about it. You must do it. That which is commanded by the master is required to be obeyed by the servant. Right? To offer burnt offerings unto the Most High upon the altar of the burnt offering continually morning and evening, and to do according to all that is written in the law of the Most High, which he commanded Israel. Verse 41. And with them Heman and Jeduthun and the rest that were chosen, who were expressed by name, to give thanks to the Most High, because his mercy endureth forever. 42. And with them Heman and Jeduthun with trumpets and cymbals for those that should make a sound, and with musical instruments of God, and the son of Jehutham were porters. 43. And all the people departed, every man to his house, and David returned to bless his house. All right. Next week, we'll be picking up from 1 Chronicles chapter 17 and verse 1. With that, I jump up here. Shabbat, which means horn. Yayan. My badger's not here to give me a whole glass. My badger's heavy in the end. La Yasharala, which means to Israel. Shabbat. Israel, Imajim, which means to send. Saw upon Yahakwadam, which means turn and face the east. You're gonna say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Padash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakavka, Abaa, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazar, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathanawa, Nakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kawabwafinawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawabwafinawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Anawa, Banasai 1, Abal, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Ra, Haya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa Ha'ala, Wa'a Tapa'ara, La'aiwalamyam, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakat, the power in the Hebrew.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Hashem Yahushua,
Ba'akashah,
Bakashah,
Thunder now,
Villanelle,
Hakak,
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 Naraba'ah,
Rabafa'ah,
Ka Maka'Allah,
Hakak,
Ka Maka'Allah, Ka Maka'Allah,
Ka'Allah,
Wakam Adawa,
Ka'Manawa,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Natha'ah,
Hakak,
Amatazariah,
Amatazariah,
Hakak,
Hakak,
La'akwiyah,
La'afi,
Amafia,
Abafia,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Al Rakawa,
Al-Wakawa,
Hatama'ala,
Asama'ala,
the Garishah,
Gavasha,
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Hashem Yahushua,
Tawada'aman.
Warahman,
In the English, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahushua,
in the name of Yahweh,
please give us the power,
please give us the
the
power,
power to heal
power to heal,
all manner of
all
sickness
manner of sickness,
and all manner of
all
disease,
manner of disease,
power to cleanse the lepers,
power to cleanse the lepers,
power to raise the dead,
power to raise the dead,
power against unclean spirits,
power against unclean
to
spirits,
cast them out.
cast them
In
out.
the name of
In
Yahushua,
the name of Yahushua.
thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Psalm 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ahayim,
Al-Haya,
Ma'ayan,
Ayat,
Yaba'ah,
Yaba'ah,
Isaiah,
Azariah,
Isaiah Ma'ayin,
Azariah Ma'ai,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shamayam,
Shamayah,
Wa'aratazah,
Aratazah,
Ayatan,
Ayatan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Wagalka,
Wagalka,
Al Yanawam,
Ayanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Hanala'ah,
Hanala'ah,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yayashan,
Yayashan,
Shalmar,
Shawamah,
Yasharala,
Yashalal,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazarka,
Zalka,
Aliyah,
Aliyah,
Yamyanka,
Yamyanka,
Yawamam,
Yawamah,
Hashamash,
Hashamash,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Wayarak,
Wayarah,
Balayallah,
Alayah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamarka,
Makarai,
Makarah,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Afnapashka,
Atnapash,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Tazafka,
Tazam,
Wabawa'aka,
Wa'am,
Aitha, Wa'ai
I will love.
In the English, I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth
he
Israel
that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is a shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in.
from this time forth,
From this time forth,
even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
Psalm 83 in the Hebrew, Halahayim,
Alahai,
Al Damayelukah,
Adamaya Lakam,
Al Takarash,
Al-Dakarash,
Wa Al Tashakwat,
Al-Dashakwa,
Al
Al,
Kayahana,
Tayahana,
Awayabyaka,
Al-Awayabika,
Yahama Yawan,
Yahama Yawan,
Wa Mashanayaka,
Wamashanayaka,
Nasha'awa,
Asha'aw,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al Imaka,
Al-Aimika,
Ya'irayamwa,
Ya'arayamu,
Sawad,
Sawa,
Waya Tayaitazwa,
Waya, Daya Aitazawa,
Al Tazapawanyaka,
Al-Tazawanyaka,
Amawa,
Amawa,
Lakawa,
Akawa,
Wanakakina,
Wanakakida,
Magoya,
Al-Gaya,
Wala'ah,
Wala'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yasharala,
Sham Yasha'al,
Aiwa,
Aiwa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawa Aitazawa,
Aya Awatazwa,
La,
La,
Yaka
Yaka Alwa,
Alyaka,
Alika,
Bara'af,
Wara'af,
Yaka Karafu,
Yakarafa,
Aalya,
Aya,
Adawam,
Adawa,
Wayashamai, Wayashamai, Wayashamailayam,
Washama'alia,
Mawa'aba,
Wama'ala,
Wahagariam, the ball,
the ball,
I'm a one, I'm a lot, Halashah, I'm Yeshabia, that's a war, Gamashawa, Nalawa, Imam, Yahweh, Sergeant, Hayawa, Zawawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, I.S.U.P.K, Kamadian, Kasaya Sarah, Kayabia, Balakar, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara, Hayawa, the man, the Adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayabmawa, Ka'ira, Wakaza'aba, Wakazabak, Wakatazamanai, Kanasayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Naya Rasha, Lanawa, Af, Na'awaf, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Napanya Rakah, Ka'ash, Taba'ira Ya'ira, Wakalaaba, Tala'at, Haryam, Khan, Tawadakma, Masa'iraka, Wabasawapafka, Tabahalam, Mala'at, Panyaham, Palawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayaba'awa, Aya, Wayakapawa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shamka, Yahweh, Labadka, Ayawan, Al-Ka-Al-Rataza. In the English, keep not thy silence, O power.
Keep not thy silence, O power.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O power.
O power.
For lo,
lo,
thy enemies make a tumult.
thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee
They that hate thee
have lifted up their
have
head.
lifted up their head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
come,
come,
and let us cut them off
let us cut them off
from being a nation.
from being a nation.
That the name of Israel
The name of Israel
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more remembered.
For they have consulted together
For they have consulted together
with one consent.
for one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
the
tabernacles of Edom,
tabernacles of Edom
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Israelites
of Moab,
of Moab
and the
and
Hagarenes,
Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal
and Ammon,
and Ammon
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
I saw also his drum with them.
Also
They have opened the children of
they
Lot.
have opened the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them
Do unto them
as unto the Midianites,
as to the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Japan,
at the brook of Kison,
the prince of peace,
which perish at Endor.
which perish at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They become as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Horeb,
Make their nobles like the red,
and like Zahab.
and like Zahab.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes,
all their princes,
as Zabah
as Zabah,
and as Zalmunna,
and as Amunah,
who said,
who said,
let us take to
let us
ourselves
take to
the
themselves
houses of the power in possession.
the houses of power and possession.
O my power,
O my power,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth for wood,
as the fire burneth the
and
wood,
as the flame setteth the mountains on
and
fire.
as the flame set the mountains on
So
fire.
persecute them with thy tempest,
Persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy
and
storm.
make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that man may seek thy name.
that they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
let them be confounded,
let them be
in
confounded,
trouble forever.
in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame,
let them be put to
and
shame,
perish,
and perish,
that man may know
that men may
that
know
thou,
that thou,
whose name alone
whose
is
name alone is
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
art the Most High
of the Most High,
over all the earth.
of all the earth.
Blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Wa Yahushua,
Wa Yahushua,
Wa Mayaka Allah,
Wa Mayaka Allah,
Wa Alahayim,
Wa Anahayim,
Matazabia,
Tabia.
Alawap Yahanna,
Alawap Yahanna.
Ha Alawapyo,
Alawapya.
Ha Saranya,
Hasaranya.
Hakwatazayanya,
Hakatazayanya.
Hakayayanya,
Hakayayanya.
Ha Akwafia,
Wahakwapya.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushua,
Hashem Yahushua.
the Wadaman
Warama.
in the English. Blessed are you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh.
and Yahushua,
And Yahushua.
and Michael,
And Michael.
and the
And
angels,
the angels.
commanding General Yahanna,
And General
the
Yahanna.
generals,
The generals.
the captains,
Captains.
the officers,
Officers.
troopers,
Troopers.
and
And
assistants.
assistants.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
in the name of
In the
Yahushua,
name of Yahushua.
thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
So like that. Let me get that one.
Come.
Curses in the you gonna repeat the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh. So
Bless you, Yahweh.
blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and
and
earth.
all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
in the name of
In
Yahushua,
the name of Yahushua.
listen to us now,
Listen to us now.
right now.
Right now.
Sin evils and curses,
That evils and curses.
punishment and destruction
Punishment and destruction.
to the heathen
To the heathen.
that speak against
That
us,
speak against
thy
us.
prophets,
As prophets.
the teachers,
The teachers.
the princes,
The princes.
the priests,
The priests.
the Israelite brothers,
Israelite brothers.
and the school.
And the schools.
Sin evils and
The
curses,
evils and curses.
and punishment and
The
destruction
punishment and destruction.
to the heathen,
To the heathen.
and shake loose
And shake loose.
the treasure of the rich of Israel
The treasure of the rich of Israel.
that refuse to give to the school,
That refuse to give to the school.
force their riches
Force their riches.
to enter into thy
To
sanctuary.
enter into thy sanctuary.
Sin evils and curses,
That evils and curses.
punishment and
And
destruction
punishment and
to
destruction.
the
To
Edomites
the Edomites.
and the nations
And the nation.
and their drug
And the
dealers,
drug dealers.
court system,
Court
the
system.
prison system,
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood.
all the governments of our
All the
enemies,
governments of our
Amalek synagogues and
Amalek
armies,
synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope,
The Pope.
Islam,
Islam.
Christianity,
Christianity.
Egyptology,
Egyptology.
militia,
Militia.
Ku Klux
Ku
Klan,
Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads,
Skinheads.
Pasikamatasi, the
Komatasi.
gay
The
movement,
gay movement.
the lesbian movement,
Lesbian movement.
spies,
Spies.
workers of witchcraft,
Weapons of witchcraft.
NASA space
NASA
program,
space program.
Army,
Army.
Navy,
Navy.
Air Force,
Air Force.
Marines,
Marines.
Wall Street,
Wall Street.
open up the internet,
Open up the internet.
in the
And
airwaves,
the airway.
cable access channels,
Cable access
and the
channel.
radio
And the
channels.
radio
To
channel.
convict the spirit
Convict the
of
spirit
any of our
of
people
any other
that
people
seek to stop
that
us
seek to stop
and
us.
bring swift
And
destruction
bring swift destruction
to all the heathen
to all the heathen
that stand in the way
that stand in the
or
way
try to stop us
or try to stop
from
us
broadcasting your
from
words
broadcasting your word
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues,
Let loose all the plagues.
cause them to go to and
Cause
fro
them to go to and fro
through the earth
through the earth
and consume
and
them.
consume them.
Let the plagues
Let the plague
shake the house of the thief
shake the house of the thief
and the murderer.
and the murderer.
The Yahushua,
Yahweh,
Michael and Gabriel
Michael and Gabriel,
come down with the flying
come down
saucers
with the flying
and
saucers
punish all the
and
heathens
punish all the heathen
that come up against
that
us
come up against
as we
us
speak thy word.
as we speak thy
Cause
word.
it to be known by all
Cause it to be known by all
that it is the angels that have done
that
it.
it is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media
Cause it to be spread through the media
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause it to shake at thy
In the
coming.
name of
In
Yahushua,
the name of Yahweh,
thank you always.
thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
Son of Christ. So, during, you want to give one courtesy salute. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. That's my talk. Dismiss.